let's make salmon croquettes. I have two 14.75 ounces of canned salmon, and I'm going to show you what I do. I have made this video before, and at the time it was fairly popular, but my lighting is so much better now. I thought I'd just reshoot it with a better lighting. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting this middle part. I'm turning it over. A lot of people, they just keep the skin. I don't like to do that, so I'm not gonna, y'all know what I say, I'm not gonna suffer you through me doing this whole process, but I am just showing you. Now, a lot of people talk about, I'm trying to find some, yeah, right here, these little bones, and they move them out. That is a perfect source of calcium, and I want to show you this. And I'm not very strong. They just smush up into nothing. There is no reason to have to take those bones out. If you want to, go ahead. A lot of people, which blows my mind, if they want a nice, moist croquette, they take all the juice, half of the juice, whatever. It's not that much, as you can see. Maybe about a little over half a cup. And you need that moisture. And so anyway, I'm going to stop and do this, and I'll bring you back when I've gotten all the skin off. But for what I'm making 2 cans, and the rule of thumb is, and I've said this before, rule of thumb is per can, and this will be down below, 1 egg per can, 1 sleeve of saltine crackers. If you do want to add, this is a red bell pepper, about a tablespoon. I just sauteed it off for about 3 or 4 minutes just to soften it up. And since I'm doing 2 cans, I have a little more pepper than I normally would. I'd normally put about 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, or you can leave that off and pepper your plate. And I'm doing some plain, and I'm going to show you these other options. These are some green onions from my little container garden. And I don't have much this year. A lot of it got ruined. And but that's some of it I had snipped up with the shears. So anyway, I got skin hanging on me, so I will bring it back. I'm wearing 1 glove. Hee hee. Billie Jean, no, okay. Anyway, I'll bring you back when I get all this cleaned up, and then I'll move on to the next step. Alrighty, as you can see, I have gone through. I've got 99.999% of any of that skin. If I find a spot, if I miss a spot, I'll pick it out. It's no big deal. You won't notice it at all. And look, there's a little tiny piece of the silvery part. Okay, and I got it. But everything else, I think it's pretty much done for. Kitty cat's getting a little treat. So here's my salmon, or as I called it when I was a little kid, salmon croquettes. That's what I called it. This is my first time to use this chicken of the sea. I got it, at the height of the pandemic. I am a double Q girl myself. That's what my mama used, and that's what I use. So, get a paper towel and clean that up. It might not show, but it shows for me. So, 2 cans, 2 eggs. Let me beat them up real quick. Just a light beating. Put that in. That's your binder for this recipe. Move that out of the way. And in goes my pepper. And next, look at there, a sleeve of crackers. You don't need to put them in a Ziploc bag. You don't need to get a rolling pin. Here's what I do with these kinds. I cut a little tiny air hole right here, a little slit. And then I just take my hands, I've shown you all this before, and I go in, I start twisting, and I just keep doing it, playing it like I'm playing an accordion, I guess. Or what's the hurdy-gurdy man plays that thing. Anyway, I'm going to do this off camera, and I'll bring you back. I wanted to point out the reason you cut that slit is, of course, if you don't, you'll pop out this bottom part, and you need to let the air escape as you're squeezing it. Now I go in, I squeeze it this way as well. I just keep going up and down it. And you're not trying to grind it to make it look like flour, but you don't want big hunks. You do want, nothing bigger than this. And even sometimes I go in and give it another little squeeze on the way down. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is the second sleeve. Like I said, rule of thumb, per can, 1 egg, 1 sleeve of saltine crackers. You don't need salt because, of course, you're using what? Saltine crackers. And see, I squeezed that enough that it's coming out the bottom, which is fine because I was about to open it up so it come out anyway. And I go in, I just run around. This is pretty nice and to the consistency I want. I'm not touching the fish yet or the egg. A little bit of egg got on me, I see. All right. So now my hands are clean. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna bring all this together. You don't wanna overwork it, but you gotta work your egg and your crackers into the mix. I'm trying to go over here and pick that egg up. I don't know if you can see. I'm sorry, I'm pulling that off camera, aren't I? The problem of having short hands. Short arms, I meant. Well, not very overly big hands either. But I get around. All right, I'm gonna finish this off camera. I'll bring you back when I'm about ready to make some patties. Now, I've mixed this up quite well, and I wanna show you how perfectly it stays. And I just make patties with my hand, but I want you to see how nice that stays together. Look at that. Oh, you'll get one that'll peel apart every once in a while, but for the most part, it does stick together. So, okay, I'm gonna clean my hands, and then I'll start making some patties, then we'll move over to the skillet at the stove, okay? I'll be back. P.S. I have not forgotten my optional ingredients, but I'm making half of these plain, and the other half I'll put the other in, okay? Okie dokie. As you can see, it might not look even on camera, but I've pretty much split them evenly. Because I'm gonna put the bell pepper and the green onions, because again, this is the basic recipe. I want to talk to you about this. Don't it's about the salmon. This is not about bell pepper and green onion, okay? And boy, I can see people, you know, I told you they drain it. I'm sometimes just mortified. And they put all this stuff and they're just, you know, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and all this crap. No, this is down home salmon croquettes, okay? Regular. The way we grew up eating it. Once in a while, Mama would put a little bell pepper and a little green onion. And I'm going to do that for y'all's sake, because on the original video, people tried to act like I'm a nut and don't know how to cook, even though it said basic in the recipe, okay? Because again, I've told y'all before, if you're new to cooking, you don't need to be playing chef and putting 10 ingredients into something that is supposed to be so simple like this, okay? Now, if you listen to me, bell pepper is strong. We all love it, and I love it in dishes. Y'all have seen I cook a million times with onion and everything else. But really, it just doesn't take much. Like I said, this is like a tablespoon, and I did saute it, because if you put raw bell pepper in these patties, if you don't saute those bell peppers even for about 3 or 4 minutes, they're not going to be done by the time your croquette is finished cooking. Same thing with these onions, but that's why, as you can see, you might not can tell on the camera. Let's see if I can't get it up there to you. They're cut very thin, and there's a reason. And they'll overpower it too. You just want a hint. Now, you know, make it like you want to. I'm just showing you how I make it. And if you got kids, you definitely don't want to overpower it, okay? So anyway, back to that. Yes, I'm going back in with my hands. All right, so I'm going to take this plain so I can show you. I'm going to get that bell pepper over there, okay? Okay, let me show you how I do it. I just take a little ball, and I put it in my hand, and I just kind of flatten it out and make a patty. I see people putting flour in their croquettes and everything. You don't need it. Again, this is just how I do it. If you want to do another recipe, knock yourself out. But this is how I do it. Actually, I make them a little bigger than this, so I'll probably go bigger in my next one. And, but anyway, as you can see, they form so beautifully. They're not falling apart on me. And I just go around and I keep twisting. I'm trying to show you. Keep twisting and patting, twisting and patting. If I see where one segment isn't wanting to go in good, I'll go in and give it a good little pinch. Then I just keep going like this till I get it done, like that. And I'm going to keep on doing this, and when I move over to the skillet, all you're going to do obviously is mix this in evenly and make patties with that too. So I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera, and we'll move over to the skillet at the stove for the next segment. Okay, my grease should be excellent, good and hot. I had this little one left over. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So I'm actually going to just break a little piece off. Perfect, look at that. Okay, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and lay them out. I'll show you when it's time to, making another mess. I'll show you when it's time to flip them. And hopefully Big Daddy-O is going to do the trick and get these done. I believe I ended up with 12 patties. Again, I don't make mine gigantic. I don't make mine gigantic, as you can see. And there you have it. When it's time to flip them, I will bring you back. Okay, as you can see, I'm starting to flip. I got a different utensil. This is great. I love it. I was running my mouth to my son, and I did break those using the wrong utensil. And some of them, I do want to show you. Some of them, you know, the pan has hot spots and it doesn't. So some of them aren't actually quite done. This is the hotter side. So I'm gonna, as you can see these bubbles, this is where you can see that simmering. And over on this side, you can tell it's not simmering as much. I need to adjust my pan. I'm going to do that off camera. But I did want to show you, it's been about, I don't know, 3.5, 4 minutes on this side. And look at this beautiful color. Pick him up. Oops, that grease is hot. He's gorgeous. And yes, I messed those two up. That's okay. I always take the beat up ones. Okay, when I get my pan adjusted and I'm flipping them all over, I'll bring you back. Okay, I've taken out several of the ones that I had put in first, and I'm just using a slotted spoon. My fork's good too. And this one he's done, I believe. He might need just about 1 more minute. Yep. This one's probably ready to go and take up. Hot, hot, hot. Let me flip this up. Remnants of that one of that 2 that I broke. They still won't taste the same. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes they just break. Although I'd never used chicken and sea tuna, so that I remember anyway. If I did, I don't remember it, but I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. But I don't have my mistakes, folks. This is real life, really my kitchen. This is really our supper. So I did want to mention to you, I had about 1/4 of an inch of just regular cooking oil, whatever you. I wouldn't use the strong olive oil in this. I would use like a sunflower, a peanut, a canola, any of those, just all vegetable. And that's what I have in here. Love the pan. It's doing a great job. Got it for my birthday. And I just now got around to seasoning it, so we're still in that process with it, but it cooked beautifully. I'm really happy with it. And we are having, it's kind of hot. Woo, look at that. We're having, you can top it however you want. But we like to have it with just ketchup. You can have a mustard dipping sauce. Any of that stuff's good. If you want to go to all that. But we just do it old school. We're having blue box macaroni and Boston baked beans. That's our supper for tonight. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm going to move back over to the table. Got all my heat off. Gotta let my pan cool down. Then I'll strain that grease. And I can use it for other things like french fries and stuff. Doesn't have any, it won't have that flavor because I'm using peanut oil. So anyway, I'll move back over to the table so y'all can see the croquettes. See you in a minute. How is that? Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Had to beat the kids' hands off of them. They love them. And they're really that good. So I hope you enjoyed this. I had made this before, but I thought the lighting might be better on this. So now I'll take a couple of pictures so we can eat.